It is your girl Jade Ashley, and I want to welcome you back to yet another video of When a Beat Drops. And like always, you know I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats and music of this week, so you know you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. So my first beat of this week, it's not really much news, but it's something that I wanted to talk about because I'm just a little bit curious, you know. And what I'm talking about is this alleged, I guess, relationship. I don't know if you want to call it alleged, but this some type of relationship that may be going on between Jhené Aiko and Big Sean. Now, I didn't really pay too much attention to it at first because you guys know that recently they just had this whole project come out, 2088, and you know I reviewed that. So if you guys did not check out that video, definitely be sure to go back a few videos of When a Beat Drops and check out my review for their new album. And you know, with the whole concept of the album, you know, they kind of, you know, play as a couple. So you know, when I would see them promoting the album, or like I see like photo shoots, or I see performances, I'm like, oh, they're in character, you know. If you guys would have got the music and hear how dope it is, you know that they're, you know, portraying as a couple, like they're in character. That's all I thought about it. But now, you know, I'm kind of like, wait a minute, are they like really dating? Now, if they are dating, you know, I think it'll be pretty dope. I think they make a good looking couple. Big Sean, he is He's something very nice to look at, and it just helps that he's like dope. I've already talked about before in this channel how I feel like he is definitely underrated as a rapper. You know, Jhené Aiko, she's gorgeous. You know, when she makes music, you know, everyone flocks to it. They love it. And them two together musically are just awesome. So if they are a couple, but the issue, I guess you can say here, is that Jhené Aiko is, I guess, still legally married. And you know, we just found out not too long ago that she was married. We know that she's been with Dr. Genius, who's a producer, and you know, we know that they were together, but we did not know that they were married until he did his birthday post on Instagram, and he posted a picture of them two from, you know, like their wedding and stuff. So it's like, oh, Jhené Aiko's married. Then, you know, the 2088 album comes out. Then, you know, so signs of which, you know, that they could be dating is a lot of photos on Instagram. This past week I've been seeing photos of her wearing Big Sean's chain. You guys know, like, his logo, or like his mascot, I guess you can say, is like a lion, because you know he is from Detroit and stuff like that. So she's been seen wearing his chain, and just the photos, you know, her sitting on his lap and stuff. So I don't know if they're a couple. I would pretty much say maybe there's something going on between her and her husband. You know, that it hasn't been confirmed, but this is me just, you know, speaking on what I think could possibly be happening. I've been through her Instagram recently, and I remember seeing her and Dr. Genius on her, you know, Instagram heavy, like in a relationship. Well, obviously they're in a relationship, but you know, I would just see photos, and now I don't really see photos of him at all. So yeah, I don't know. So I want you guys to comment below and let me know, do you think that Jhené Aiko and Big Sean are a couple? And if they are you here for it? Are you not here for it? You know, and again, I'm gonna let y'all know, if you guys do not have their album 2088, definitely get it. You will not regret it for sure. I remember my friend Bria telling me that, you know, after watching my video, she decided to check out the album, and then I go on Snapchat and I see her singing a song. So I will not steer y'all wrong. The music is dope, and if the music just happened to bring them together to form this new couple, I think it's dope. I mean, so that was just my first beat of this week. This was just something I just had to talk about. But other than that, we're gonna move on to my second beat of this week, and I want to talk about Unsung. This past week, a new season of Unsung started, and they talked about Kelly Price. And when I saw that, I was like, nah, I have to watch it, cause my last image of Kelly Price in my mind is her last season of R&B Divas LA. And when she just started blacking out on everybody with the whole monologue situation, and she met up with Lil Mo, and she was like, I am booked. And she was calling her husband, who was not her ex-husband at the time, they were still married, but you know, she was like, Jeffrey Rose, like she was just bugging. So you know, I was definitely here for an Unsung. Now, I've been around since her career, because you know, I look at shows as a shows such as Unsung as like learning opportunities behind the music, stuff like that. I saw recently they have this new show on BET called Inside the Label. I like watching things like that that's music related, of course, and also I look at it as my version of history class, my version of, you know, just learning. I like to learn when it comes to music, definitely, without a doubt. So, you know, I wanted to watch Unsung because when her career started, yes, I was around, but I was a little ass girl, you know, in the 90s and stuff. So it's always good to, you know, see, you know, those classic songs, how they came about, and, you know, hear the real story, because, you know, we never really get the real story until years later and these artists come on camera and they say what they gotta say. So what I learned from her episode of Unsung, which aired this past week, is that she more so started off as a writer. You know, I've known her to be a writer, but before she was out singing in front of everybody as Kelly Price, she started out as a writer, and she mainly started out as a writer over at Bad Boy. And if it wasn't for Ronald Isley from the Isley Brothers encouraging her to be more than just a writer and an artist and be out there, that, you know, she probably wouldn't have took that leap of faith. And one reason why she was, you know, so much comfortable within the background and playing or writing all of these hit songs for all of these other artists was because she was so self-conscious about her weight. And, you know, that I can understand as far as like wanting to be in the industry and how you have to have this certain look. And, you know, I feel like in 2016 it is definitely way different and way more stricter than 1996, if you ask me. So especially when you got like the whole Instagram models, the naked and all of that other stuff, they be making it hard for sisters like myself out here. But anyway, that is besides the point. So another thing that I learned about is that Friend of Mine featuring R. Kelly and Ronald Isley was one of her first big hits as an artist out there. So that is a classic, especially the dialogue that goes on between R. Kelly and Ronald Isley. What is it?
How you doing, Mr. Bill? What the hell is going on? What you mean is going on? Kelly's telling me that you're sleeping with another woman. Just because he sees me with her doesn't mean I'm sleeping with her. Well, if you're not sleeping with her, what
the hell? That is a classic. Like, I've known that since a little kid. Don't ask me why. Don't question my parents' parenting. Just know that I know it. But so that was her first big hit. Then she talked about another big hit of hers, which was the host Heartbreak Hotel featuring Whitney Houston and Faith Evans, and she talked about how that came about. And long story short, Whitney Houston, she was in a car, she heard, you know, Kelly Price on the radio, and she was looking for her. She was like, I heard her, I want to do a record with her. She found her, and that's the result, was that Heartbreak Hotel. And then, you know, they just developed a relationship from there. And, you know, I guess you can say, as I said, the rest is history. After so much success, she had to take some time away to like be a mom. One thing was that her mom had like breast cancer, so her mom was close to passing away. So, you know, just family time is what gave her that hiatus that, you know, from like the 90s up until like recent years when R&B Divas started. So basically after she took some time away, she returned after 8 years with her new album, which was self-titled, which was Kelly, and she signed with Warren Campbell's label My Block. And another thing that was talked about was Whitney's last performance. If you guys can remember, back in 2012, it was Grammy weekend when Whitney passed. And, you know, the night before, she had attended a Grammy party. You know, Kelly Price was there, so technically that was like Whitney's last time on stage before passing away. So, you know, she kind of talked about that last moment that she shared with Whitney, what it meant to her. You know, it was just so much. You know, of course she talked about R&B Divas. I wanted her to get into like why, you know, what was it about R&B Divas LA that she just did not want to return, and why she kind of like just lashed out the way she did, as we seen on camera. But as far as, you know, why she was on R&B Divas, or what was her purpose was sharing about her being raped at a young age, then, you know, but overall I enjoyed it. I know next week the group Next will be having their Unsung, so maybe you guys can check that out as well, because it seems like they're covering a lot of like the, you know, 90s artists right about now with this upcoming season of, you know, Unsung. So definitely check out the next one, which is Next, and then try to catch the replay of Kelly because I thought it was good. You know, that's just something, those are things that I like and I like to watch and talk about and stuff like that. So other than that, I want to move on to my third beat of this week, and I have to talk about my girl Tamar. So you guys know that last week I talked about her, you know, being fired from the Real, but you know, everything comes full circle. You guys know I said that I don't know what went wrong. I don't feel like she was deserving of it, but she finally spoke out about it. This week she visited Steve Harvey's morning show, and she basically talked about what happened, how it happened, and then we got some great news. But she basically started saying that Vince had called, I guess, like the heads or the execs over or whatever, the people behind the scenes over at the Real, and basically he was calling them, asking them about glam for Essence. You know, Essence Festival happens every summer in New Orleans around 4th of July weekend. So, you know, they was calling and asking her about glam for Essence, or he was calling them, asking them about glam for Tamar for Essence, and that's when they basically said to him, you know, we're not looking to have Tamar come back. And that's how she found out. They never gave her a reason as to why. You know, they just fired her. And then, you know, Steve Harvey, being in television for all of the years that he's been in television, throughout the interview, you know, he was kind of giving his 2 cents and his experience as far as like how television works. And he was like that when it comes to TV, when it comes to Hollywood, they can just say, you know, we're going in a different direction. They don't have to give you a reason why they fired you. So, you know, he was just giving his expertise, and you know, it kind of scared me, to be honest, because, you know, entertainment is definitely where I'm trying to go. Being on television, obviously I'm sitting here talking to the camera, is where I'm trying to go. So the fact that you can just be doing your job and one day these execs can just wake up and feel like they don't want you no more, and they can just be like, look, I'm firing you, that scared the shit out of me, to be honest. So yeah, so she was just talking about it. She talked about how she was hurt, but she didn't look at it as a disadvantage. She looked at it as a positivity, because she was like that, you know, sometimes things are supposed to happen, and if you don't do it and you're at the ledge, she said that God will push you off that ledge and make you. So, you know, like I said, it was a learning experience, but through the whole interview, you know, she talked about how she was okay, she looked great, and then it was announced that Tamar, she has signed a deal with Steve Harvey's production company, East 112th Street, and she will be producing her own talk show. So like I said last week, I already know that no matter what Tamar does, like, she's gonna be good. Like, she is multi-talented. So, you know, of course I'm always here for the music. I'm definitely here for her next album. I told y'all the last album, Calling All Lovers, was amazing. Although it was under promoted, it was still dope. The vocals was crazy. I love definitely every song on that. Well, no, I don't like Angels and Demons. I'm lying. I like every song on that album except Angels and Demons. But, you know, yeah. So congratulations to Tamar. You know, like you said, it is only upward and outward and excellent from here on out. So I'm excited to see what kind of talk show you develop with your new production deal with Steve Harvey's production company. And you know, you always got a viewer in me. So yeah. So moving on. So my fourth beat of this week, I had to give, like, I guess you can say, like, a little bit of sad news. So you guys know that the day that Prince died, I did a video that I talked about it, and we didn't know why Prince died, what happened, but we did know that prior to his death, he was, you know, feeling sick, and he was in a hospital and all this other stuff. So this week, I guess, like, the coroner's report kind of came out, and the Associated Press confirmed that he had overdosed on painkillers. Now, I cannot name the painkillers because it was hard for me to pronounce, but it was painkillers. So I think it's just very, very sad. You know, it's too many legends. We just lost Muhammad Ali yesterday. Like, it's just too many legends that's just going. Like, bruh, 2016 is what, only halfway through. We're in June. We have 6 more months, and it's just like so much loss has been going on. And then, you know, you just hate when you like think about all of these like musical legends. Definitely, like when you think about like Michael Jackson and Whitney, and this is stuff that did not have to happen. These legends did not have to go the way that they went. Now, I'm not gonna say that, you know, Prince had a drug problem and, you know, this sucks, because like I said, we know that he was sick, you know, that he was experiencing, you know, pains, and he was fighting against his sickness. So I don't know. I was not there. I would hope, you know, that this was accidental, that, you know, he was in pain and he wanted to get rid of the pain and he didn't know that he was going to die. I know. I'm freaking 22 years old, and kid you not, I still call my father. If I'm not home, I will call my father and I will say to him, I'm sick. What do I take and how much do I take? Because I'm scared. Like, when I'm away at school and I feel like complete shit, I will call my father and say, look, I'm sick. Can I take this and can I take that? And he'll tell me, no, don't do it, because I'm not an expert on medicine and I ain't trying to drug myself and then the next thing you know, I'm out of here. That's whatever. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that Prince is not here, regardless of the fact, and I'm just sad that to learn that he died from painkillers. I wish his health would have been better at the time of his death, and you know, maybe this wouldn't happen. It's just sad. So once again, rest in peace to Prince. I know his family's been going through so much since his past, so condolences to them. And we will move on to our last beat of this week. And my last beat of this week, which just happened today, I have to talk about Chris Brown versus TMZ, I guess you want to call it that. So recently TMZ, they posted a story about Chris Brown, I guess you can say stomping on a fan's head in Cannes last month, and Chris was not with the shits. He took it straight to Instagram and he told TMZ off, and this is what he had to say.
Oh, you want to talk about mothers. Let me address this shit real fast. Hey, TMZ, fuck yeah. But I'll let you know this. Before the tour started, we're on one hell of a night tour, by the way. It's going amazing. Loving all my fans everywhere. We went to Cannes. G.O.O.D. That's a nightclub I was hosting. No fans were hurt by Chris Brown. No fans were beat up by Chris Brown. I met the owner, shook his hand. We were, you know, partying and everything else. His staff, though, security, I don't think he probably knew who I was. I don't care. But he assaulted me, grabbed his hand around my throat, and tried to push me out the spot. When we were walking, my security was already advanced in another spot. So we handled the situation accordingly and moved on. This has to be a month old. So y'all gotta get y'all news faster and stop lying to people saying we beating up fans. I don't do that, but don't get it fucked up.
Okay, so basically, Chris was not here for it. He was like, look, y'all lying, number one. He was like, get y'all news faster, because that happened last month and we are in June now. He said, number two, I did not do that. And I seen the video that TMZ posted with their article. Now, I will say, Chris Brown, his foot was on somebody's head, but the way he was telling the story on how it happened, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he was stomping somebody in the head. What from his side of the story, he basically said he hosted a club. You know, he shook hands with the owner and all this other stuff. It was the club security that got out of hand, assaulted him. Him and his security handled that situation with the club security. So, you know, Chris Brown is in a club. It's already a big commotion just because he's there. But if something did happen between him and the club security, I would imagine that made an even bigger commotion. So what it looked like was Chris Brown's security was pulling him away. So I'm assuming with people behind him and then the security trying to pull him away from the crowd and the commotion, you know, maybe somebody trampled over somebody ended up on the floor, and, you know, Chris was trying to step in, you know, over people trying to get to him and him trying to get away. I mean, when it comes to these celebrities, when it comes to clubs, when it comes to drinks, there's so much that happens that goes on. But honestly, I don't think Chris Brown was just bugging in the club and stomping on niggas' heads. That's all, you know. I don't feel like that happened. I was not there, but with the video and how it seemed, I don't think it happened that way. And like I said in the past, you know, the media always comes for Chris Brown and always makes Chris Brown, you know, this is the type of things that stirs Chris Brown in the wrong direction. And then when he really does something fucked up, you know, it's because he's, you know, not caring or reacting because he's like, look, the media has it out for me anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Chris on this. That's just my conclusion to the story. I'm just gonna go with Chris. I'm gonna believe his side of the story, because yes, his foot was on somebody's head, but the way the story was, I don't think he was stomping out somebody in the club. And that's just that. But other than that, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning into this week's video. And of course, you know, I have to end every single video by reminding you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share. It would greatly, greatly, greatly be appreciated. Please ignore the mowing of the lawn because I have disrespectful ass neighbors. Unfortunately, I have no notes to leave you guys with this week. But you know, I have to leave you with my song of the week, and my song of the week is gonna have to go to Mike Will Made It featuring Rihanna with their new song Nothing Is Promised, and that is off of his new mixtape Ransom 2, which will be releasing this summer. And you know, Rihanna can't do no wrong right about now. Like, her anti-album is popping, and then Mike Will Made It, you know, he tapped her to do the first single off of his new mixtape, like, and it's amazing. So if you want to hear the song in its entirety, you can head over to my blog at www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. Once again, I thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. So bye. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's video, and of course, you know I have to end every single video by thanking you guys for tuning in, and I also have to remind you guys to comment, like, didn't I just say the same shit like twice? Hold on, wait. Thank you for tuning in, and alright, don't start messing up now. Come on, let's not. It's too hot. Wait, just get it together, because it's too hot. It's hot right now. Come on. And like, who's doing this? Who's doing this while I'm recording? Who's doing this? Who's doing it? Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.